When the world thinks of Kenya, they imagine safaris, world-class marathon champions, and matatus overtaking you like they're auditioning for Fast and Furious. Nairobi drift. Some picture giraffes grazing in the savannah. Others think of the Great Migration. Or maybe even Eliud Kipchoge running faster than their Wi-Fi. But what the world often forgets is this. Behind the jokes, behind the traffic jams, behind the endless debates about who makes the best ugali, Kenya is quietly building one of Africa's most capable and battle-hardened militaries. And today, that rise is shocking the world. This isn't just a story about guns and gadgets. It's about resilience, training, strategy, and a people whose national motto is simple: Harambee. Pulling together. In Kenya, defense isn't just a job for the soldiers. It's a national instinct, the same energy Kenyans use to hustle, innovate, and outsmart daily challenges. So, let's dive into how Kenya went from being underestimated to becoming a fortress in East Africa. Kenya's military transformation didn't happen by accident. For decades, the country has faced threats from across its borders: instability in Somalia, civil wars in Sudan and South Sudan, and the ever-present menace of Al-Shabaab terrorists. These weren't distant problems. They were right on Kenya's doorstep, sometimes even creeping inside. Unlike some neighbors who depended heavily on foreign troops for stability, Kenya knew it had to take control of its own security. Every time a bomb went off in Nairobi or Mombasa, every time Al-Shabaab tried to destabilize the country, the lesson was clear: Kenya couldn't afford to relax. So, the Kenya Defense Forces, the KDF, sharpened their skills the hard way. From counterinsurgency operations in Somalia to peacekeeping missions in South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo, they turned real battlefields into classrooms. Every threat, every mission, every ambush, every long patrol in the desert heat, it all forged the KDF into a professional, disciplined, and experienced fighting force. And honestly, if you can survive a night patrol in Garissa and survive Nairobi matatu rides during rush hour, congratulations, you're already Special Forces material. Now, let's talk numbers. Kenya's military isn't the biggest on the continent, with around 24,000 active troops and a solid reserve force. But here's the twist. Size isn't everything. Ask any Kenyan and they'll tell you. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. Kenya's forces are armed with modern and diverse equipment. T-72 tanks rumble across the plains. Humvees patrol the roads. F-5 Tiger jets roar in the skies. And artillery can pound enemy positions long before they ever see a Kenyan boot print. And then, of course, there are drones. Not the ones used for weddings, proposals, or your cousin's YouTube channel. These are the kind that can track your every move before you even finish your soda. So, if you're thinking of sneaking into Kenya, maybe on a little rubber dinghy, James Bond style, think again. The KDF already has your GPS coordinates, tea is brewing, and your entire plan is about to be ruined before lunch. What makes Kenya's military truly stand out is not just the equipment, it's the training. KDF soldiers are drilled to operate in every environment imaginable: dense jungles, urban combat zones, high-altitude mountains, scorching deserts, and yes, the chaos of Nairobi traffic, which honestly deserves its own campaign medal. Kenya's special forces don't just walk into a room, they own it. These elite units have trained alongside US Marines, British SAS, and Israel's counterterrorism experts. Every exercise, every drill hones them sharper. They're not just trained to fight, they're trained to win. And yes, they somehow manage to look like they're posing for Vogue while doing it. Kenyan Marines don't just fight, they fight in style. If Instagram had a Special Forces Fashion Week, Kenya would headline. Now, let's talk about Kenya's greatest secret weapon, its geography. Try invading this country, and you'll quickly realize you've signed up for Africa's toughest obstacle course. To the east, a 536-kilometer Indian Ocean coastline, watched by naval patrols and coastal artillery. To the north, unforgiving semi-arid deserts, where even camels demand hazard pay. To the west, thick forests, endless hills, and mountains that turn heavy tanks into stranded museum exhibits. And then there's Mount Kenya, nature's sniper tower. Try sneaking past, and a watchful marksman could spot you before you even finish your ugali. And don't underestimate Kenya's wildlife division. Rhinos, aggressive. Elephants, unpredictable. Hippos, statistically more dangerous than most invading armies. And baboons, they'll rob your rations, your equipment, and probably your dignity. Even the wildlife isn't on your side. Unlike many militaries that just march in parades, Kenya's forces have been tested in real combat. From relentless battles against Al-Shabaab in Somalia to peacekeeping in South Sudan and the DRC, the KDF has learned how to adapt under fire, coordinate with international forces, and bring order to chaos. When AMISOM needed strong fighters in Somalia, Kenya stepped up. When UN missions needed boots on the ground, Kenya was there. The KDF is not just defending Kenya, it's defending Africa. So let's be clear, nobody with sense underestimates the KDF. Those who do, they don't last long. Kenya is not stuck in the past. The KDF has been steadily modernizing, stepping confidently into the high-tech era. Today, Kenya uses night vision systems, digital command centers, surveillance UAVs, and upgraded armored vehicles. Cyber defense? Absolutely. Somewhere in Nairobi, there's probably a soldier monitoring networks, tracking hackers, while also roasting them on Twitter. Think Kenya's still behind on technology? Tell that to the satellite already following your convoy, broadcasting in 4K. But here's what truly makes Kenya formidable. Its people. Kenyans don't back down. The spirit of Harambee, pulling together, isn't just a motto, it's lived every day. From the farmer in Eldoret to the student in Mombasa, when the country is threatened, everyone rallies. Kenya has faced blackouts, floods, droughts, corruption scandals, and potholes the size of swimming pools. And yet, the people laugh, hustle, and keep moving forward. Invade Kenya, and you won't just face soldiers. You'll face boda riders turning into shock troops, grandmothers planting landmines next to their Sukuma wiki, and an army of Twitter users ready to turn your invasion into a meme thread. Psychological warfare? Forget it. You drop leaflets. Kenyans will fold them into paper planes and send them back with notes like, "This isn't your safari, champ." Kenya's rise isn't just about defending its borders. It's about becoming East Africa's security anchor. The US invests in Kenyan training. The UK relies on Kenyan cooperation. Israel shares intelligence. And African nations look to Kenya for peacekeeping leadership. In a region plagued by instability, Kenya is the anchor, the reliable one, the nation that shows up when things get messy. That makes Kenya more than a regional player. It makes it a continental leader. Kenya's rise is a warning to anyone who still underestimates Africa. This is not the 20th century anymore. African militaries are not just footnotes in global defense. They are shaping the battlefield of tomorrow. And in East Africa, Kenya is leading that charge. Any aggressor would not only face the KDF, but also its powerful friends. The US, the UK, Israel, NATO allies. That's like picking a fight with one guy, only to discover his cousins, uncles, and the entire state WhatsApp group are also waiting outside. Kenya's military rise isn't just about firepower. It's about resilience, unity, and national pride. It's about a people who laugh in the face of blackouts, survive endless traffic, and somehow turn struggle into strength. It's about a culture that thrives under pressure, where even the toughest challenges are met with creativity, humor, and an unbreakable spirit. So here's the question. As Africa's military balance shifts, will Kenya become the continent's unexpected superpower, the Lion of Africa? Could this nation, once underestimated, become the guardian of East Africa's future? One thing is certain, you don't mess with Kenya. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever.